Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this week's options watch list. Before I get into the watch list, if you're not in the room, you can find the link in the description of the video and in my bio section of social media accounts. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. With that said, I posted on Twitter, and if you didn't see it, it's basically just saying the put-to-call ratio is very high. It's at 0.48. The last time we were at 0.48 was August 9th. And August 9th was right here. No, August 9th. Was it 19th? 9th. 19th. Yeah, August 19th, which was right, this candle right here. This green candle. The next day was red. It just chopped around for like a week and a half, or a week and a half, then it dumped. So whenever you see put the call ratio really, really high, means everyone's on one side. And usually when everyone's on one side, what ends up happening is that they end up doing the opposite almost all the time, but not every time, most of the time. But if you look at the, actually, before I get into SPY, I want to look at the economic calendar next, before I get into that. The economic calendar has got some stuff this week. Tomorrow the 7th, nothing really there. Some Fed speakers here and there. Tuesday, nothing really much. Wednesday we have the 10-year bond auction at 1. We have FOMC at 2. No Powell, so it's just the minutes. I usually like the FOMC without Powell because they end up, you get SPX at the money, get them pretty cheap most of the time, and a small movement will send them 100% very, very easily. So I definitely prefer when Powell's not speaking, because the last time when he usually speaks, I usually have to play a 100-point spread. I do not like doing that, and you end up spending $7 to $9 playing a 100-point spread out. It's just too, the implied volatility is just too high, and they're too expensive. And versus without Powell, just a regular FOMC minutes with no Powell, you can get at the money, play at the money for like $5, maybe less than that. And that's when they can really, really move. It moves, SPY moves 50 cents to $1, and those SPX options are going to go 100% very, very easily. So I do prefer that. Now on Thursday, CPI month and year at 8:30. Some Fed speakers throughout the day, and 30-year bond auction at 1. I only been mentioning the bond auctions because they used to be a mover, but the last couple times, they haven't done nothing. So I'm just mentioning them for the sake of mentioning them in case they did decide to move. But we had a point in time where they were moving quite a bit. I mean, they were moving like FOMC style, and then they just stopped. It started out of nowhere, then it just stopped. So just make a note of it. It's 1 o'clock on Thursday. Now on Friday, core PPI, some inflation numbers Thursday and Friday, and that's about it. So nothing really too exciting except the inflation numbers on Thursday and Friday, which will be, the economic data is never bad. And even if it's bad, it's not nearly as bad as it probably is. So I don't trust the numbers. An election coming up in less than a month or so. So any numbers coming out, it's going to be all bullshit. It's going to be rigged. So with that said, SPY, even though I'm looking for a rug pull tomorrow, Tuesday, head and shoulders on the daily and the weekly, daily and the hourly. You get the left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder, and you can see it right here, the left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder possibly right there. So the neckline would be this 565 area. Gets below that, we could end up seeing a push to 560 or even 555 or 550, maybe even lower. We get a lot of stuff going on in the world right now. Israel and Iran still waiting for something to happen on that. You still get the war in Ukraine Russia, like that doesn't like that matters anymore. Then you get Taiwan and China. I mean, why not? We got two other things going, two other conflicts. So what's another one? Plus, we got elections in a month away. I can't imagine President Xi, whatever you pronounce his name, the president of China, prime minister of China, whatever it is going to wait to see if Trump gets into office. Because if Trump gets into office, I highly doubt they're going to invade China. I mean, invade Taiwan. But they get a month. So maybe something happens. I don't know. I'm not fear mongering or war mongering. I don't want to see anything like that whatsoever. But from a trading perspective, a political perspective, I mean, he's got to do something. He's got a month away before the elections comes out. Actually, technically not. I mean, not a month. I mean, elections is a month away, but they won't be sworn in until January. So Trump is not going to have any power till January if he wins election. So technically, you got 90 days before something happens. And I'm just wondering if Xi, whatever his name is going to do something before then. Something I've always been thinking about here and there. Now that the clock is ticking, that's a conflict or a black swan event that could end up sneaking up on us. So, but with that said, like I said about the Head and Shoulders, don't be surprised if this ends up making new all-time highs. Elections are coming. God forbid if the market's not strong going into elections and everything doesn't look great. Everything looks great in the on the stock market for Biden and Harris. So I'll be looking at both directions on that. It gets over the all-time high of 574. We'll just round up to 575. This thing's probably going to 580. And usually when SPY has a strong breakout, we end up seeing a strong move. But I do want to also point out, too, we have pretty much the same setup right here. You had a Head and Shoulders right here. You had a head, you had the left, the head, and the right shoulder right here. Then it went up and made almost all-time high right here. And it faked out and slammed. I mean, this could do the same exact thing. This could end up going to 574, 575, just enough to get over all-time high to trap people, then do this. But this, I think, was because of Iran, I think. We could see the same scenario here, over here. But like I said, we don't know what's exactly going to happen. There's so much going on politically and in the Middle East and stuff like that. So we're one headline away from something very bad happening. So SPY, we're going to watch in both directions. VIX right now, I know I'm doing a lot of rambling, but I'm just trying to pick out some scenarios. Anything can happen. VIX is at about, at 18, but it gets below this 1850-ish area. This could end up dropping down. So with that said, if SPY does break all-time high, we probably could see VIX back down to the 15 or 16 area again, which seems to be the short-term bottom for the past couple months. You can see right here, 15 has been like the floor for about a month or so. So keep an eye on the VIX, see if that one does anything. A couple things I'm looking at this week. Apple. I know earnings season's coming up, but Apple just rejected this weekly trend line right here. Got over it here and rejected harshly. Came up here, rejected a little bit, came up here, rejected a little bit. So I'm thinking, if we get below 224, probably could see a pretty decent drop out of Apple. 220, 215, 210 on Apple. I don't like trading Apple because it doesn't move enough for me. BA, with conflicts increasing in the Middle East and abroad, that Boeing could end up picking up. Had a strong day on Friday, but if it gets over this 156 area, or even, it's hard to tell, 156, yeah, it's over 156. We're probably going to jump to 160, 165 on BA. So definitely keep an eye on BA for a possible bounce. BABA, I haven't talked about in a long time. Had a crazy run. I know China stocks have been ripping and roaring, but BABA is just one of those things where it's going to end up doing this. It's going to end up popping up for a little bit, and then it's going to melt. And if something does happen with China and Taiwan, that's probably going to end up sinking the stock. So I would watch it underneath 113 for push to 110, 105 down to 100. It gets below this 101 area, 102 area. We get a gap fill down here down to 97. So Baba's got some potential there, assuming it drops. If not, I would not touch it. I mean, actually, we go back to Baba because I want to point out something else. Is that look at the RSI on it's above 80 on the weekly, and the dailies. Well, it was above 80, so it's about 79 right now. So RSI is really, 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 really high on Baba, and it's probably not going to end well on that. So Meta is just. I can't believe Meta and its little spy glasses. I don't like that whatsoever. I think that's something that's very, very bad, and it's going to end up being abused. And I'm calling them spy glasses because that's basically what they are. Now, I mean, the RSI on the daily is almost 80. It's above 80 on the hourly. Get a bearish divergence on the weekly. RSI is above 80 right here, and it's dropping as Meta is making higher highs. I don't like usually seeing that, but it doesn't mean go in and jump into puts, and because the bearish divergence could last for forever. No, I shouldn't say forever. I mean, it feels like forever. It could last for months, weeks, sometimes a year. You get a bearish divergence right here, and it didn't do anything. It just popped. So this bearish divergence didn't work out whatsoever. You can see the price here to here is up, but yet RSI is down. So not everything is certain in trading. So remember that. It's all statistics. Statistically, bearish divergence end up playing out. The question is, how far is it? Much more is it going to go before it does? I mean, is it going to run to 600, tap 600, then slam? So it's quite possible. But I would watch it underneath 590, 580, 570. It gets below this 570, you got 565, 560 right there. It gets below that, it probably can drop down to 550, 540. So Meta's got some room to drop if they let it drop. I think it probably pops to 600, then it ends up selling off. So head and shoulders on Microsoft on the weekly and daily. Well, yeah, you can see it right here. The left shoulder, the left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder. You can see it right here too on the weekly. But the neckline is going to be around 400, 401. We'll just round down to 400, and it breaks 400. I mean, you could even trade it underneath this low, Friday's low, 414. You got a gap fill down here at 407. It may bounce at 400. It might bounce a little bit, then drop below it. But Microsoft has definitely got some room. These head and shoulders will end up playing out, but the question is how long before it does. So on that, so definitely keep an eye on that. The last one's Tesla. Now Tesla looks pretty good. You get an inverted head and shoulders on the weekly. You get the left, you get the head and the right shoulder right here. Neckline's right around this 265 area, 260 area. So so if it gets over this 265 area, we're probably going to end up seeing maybe a pop to let's see, basically every $5, 255, 260, 265, 270, 275, 280, 285. Probably could see a jump to 300 again. So we'll have to see if his him being at Trump's rally does anything to the stock or something. I've saw a lot of stuff today about people wanting to boycott Tesla because he was at the Trump rally. So I mean, people have been boycotting Google forever, and Microsoft and Meta and Facebook. I mean, they've been trying to boycott all these things, and it just does nothing to these big juggernauts. So I don't think it's going to do anything. If anything, it may have a day reaction or a day or two. If anything, if it does drop, it'll probably end up being a buying opportunity, if anything. But that's just my intake. I don't know what to expect with Tesla, but the inverted head and shoulder is something that could end up being a nice play to 300 if it does end up breaking out. So that's going to do it for the watch list, and thanks for watching.